All right, so this should be fun. I went to an auction and bought, well, actually, I bought a car at an auction without even actually seeing the car. I don't normally do that. The pictures look decent, the receipts look decent. And so I took a chance, and now we're gonna find out if it's a deal or a dud. We're gonna look at also, I was gonna say, we're gonna do a review down the road on the 2020 Rubicon, and I'll do a nice review on the white 2009 Dodge Ram 4x4. That's the old trusty. I've had that for a long time. The Rubicon is newer. And then we'll do a review on the 90 Corvette, which should be fun. Don't look at my garage too hard. It's wet and nasty, and the winter has been crazy here in this state, and my garage is not in good shape. But we'll get a spring clean in here when the weather's a little nicer. This is the first day it's been actually warm enough to stand outside without a coat. It's almost 60 degrees. Hopefully it'll be even nice on that part. So the car in question is that black 1979 Corvette. It has, I could see by the receipts that it had a brand new blueprint, Summit Racing, 430 horsepower. The actual horsepower chart, or the dyno on the engine, was 450 horsepower, which I thought was nice that they a little bit overshot the goal there. Aluminum heads, it's got all kinds of nice stuff in it. I could tell by the receipts that it had a Holley Sniper fuel injection. I could tell that it had some new tires and rims. I could tell that it had a TCI drag tranny in it. It had a Van Steel suspension on it. It had digital gauges. It had all kinds of fun things. So we're going to take that car off the lift today, and we're going to go to the mechanic who's working on the 80 Corvette and see where they're at with that, look at some of the parts, because some of the things that this car needs is similar to what I just put on, or we're putting on the 80 Corvette. We're probably going to thin the herd a little bit. A little bit of weather's coming in. Thin the herd a little bit this spring and summer. I'm up to 2 Miatas, 3 Corvettes, a Jeep, a truck, Mazda 6, a CRV. The other day I was trying to tell, somebody asked me how many cars I had, and I said I had 9, and I was wrong, I have 10. So we need to thin the herd down to maybe 2 or 3 fun cars, and then the rest of the driver cars. So let's get started, and I'm gonna put it on a time lapse to take the cars apart, and then we'll look at the other one. So we'll get some better pictures of this car down the road. We'll get some initial impressions. We'll go up underneath it, look at the motor. So the interesting thing has been really cold, and today it's a warmer day. I open up the garage. The garage is probably at 40 degrees or 35 degrees, and the outside's at 60. So everything put a nice film of moisture on it. Got a little condensation. Cars are like Coke cans right now, sweating away. Like I said, it's got a blueprint motor that he bought from Summit with aluminum heads, 4-bolt main, Sniper EFI, a fuel injection. It's got the Holley distributor, it's called something, and a couple of nice parts, aluminum radiator, those pieces. Inside, it's got some aftermarket seats. You can see the Sniper control box in there. It has a TCI 4, or it's a 200R4. Or 204R, which is the transmission I really didn't know a lot about. I know about 700R4, so it'll be interesting. And they're actually a pretty neat idea. They can beef them up and make them really nice, but the good thing about them is the overdrive is actually a little even higher or lower, which we're going to look at it. It gets a little bit better freeway distance on the overdrive. It's a 0.67 versus a 0.70. And they can beef them up and make them really, really strong. This one's supposed to be rated between 400 and 700 horsepower. This motor with the EFI, I'm thinking is putting 450-ish out at the crank, not at the wheels. It's got the Mickey Thompson drag radials. Some of the upgrades that I think I'll probably be doing to it down the road is we need to put maybe some new disc brakes on it. The brakes look pretty good, but I always like those Wildwood. And a Borgeson steering gear on it. And those are the two things that I see. And then we're going to take these stickers off of it. I'm not quite sure what the voodoo meant. The only thing that I've done to this car since purchasing it is taken the lock off of the hood. I had to grind that out. I wish I had taken some video of that, but I didn't. We have some cleanup to do. You got a lot of good parts. Put a fiberglass spring in it. It's got the 6-link drag vet products in it. I'm not sure. I do know that he was drag racing, so he has all the hoops and things to control. New half shafts. Those are about 429 bucks for the pair of those. The brakes, I think, need a little bit of work. Get them all nice. The rust, it looks pretty clean as far as rust and everything. That's the original. He put that on there, I think, to get the hoop on there for the drive line for safety, but we'll need to modify that. I'd like to take that off and do something a little different for that. It's got the new cross member for the 204 or 204R. It's got some hooker side pipes on it. It's got the very nasty, leaky, original steering system on it. We're going to probably change that out. That's one of the upgrades I want to do, and I like to put some new brakes on it. He put, it's in good shape for what it could be. It could be really, really bad. But you can see the Sniper fuel injection O2 sensor in this side. I have to study up on the Sniper. I've done some work on a Mega Squirt on one of my Miatas, a supercharged Miata that I've got, and we'll be doing that down in the future. It's been fun learning all those pieces. He put some new shocks on it by the receipts, but he had several different receipts for shocks. I'm not sure which ones he ended up with on the shock. Some drag shocks that have some adjustment. Maybe I can put this up in there and actually see which ones he went with. But we've got some work to do, cleaning things. This 4-poster lift makes it easy to have some fun cleaning. Do some paint, but overall, besides the steering, everything's put together well and nothing seems to rattle and shake and roll. The car needs washed. The condensation's starting to dry off a little bit, and we can see what the car looks like. Of course, it's up on lift right now. I do want to I'll probably get some new Mickey Thompsons, the same size as the front, so that I can have the drag radials and just these same rim like this all the way around. Rotate it. It won't hook up as well, obviously, but it will look more stock at that point. It looks like I was going to drive this over to the mechanic today and look at some of the parts on the 80, but the TV cable on the transmission has got some kind of a little issue that I'm going to probably need to get a brand new cable, get that ordered, put that on the car before I drive it. It was actually pulled out, so line pressure would have been harder. It actually shifted really well driving it home. I understand that on these 700R4 and 204Rs, you can hurt the clutches, hurt the transmission if it's not adjusted properly. So I'm going to buy a new cable, get that all figured out, get the right linkage for the Sniper, and make sure that's all running up to snuff before I take it. But I am going to start it and see what she looks like, and see if she'll start up and how she'll idle with the Holley fuel injection. In fact, I got to do some research and learning on the Sniper, so we'll see how that goes. So I was telling that the car had a hood lock on it. It was a Chapman. It said the insurance lock. I tried other ways to get it. There was no way but just to cut the thing in half and pull the cable and unlock it. But I will take that rest of that lock out of there. We live in a pretty safe area. We don't have a lot of high crime, people stealing your cars. But if they did, they just need to steal the car and then take the lock off. I don't know if they'd want to steal the fuel injection or the radiator, something like that. But they do make these locks with a kill switch for the distributor, which would be handy, because then you'd have to put it on a flatbed. You couldn't hot wire or something like that. All right, well, let's go ahead and start it and see how she does. EFI should have a better cold start, but I don't think this one's quite tuned exactly right yet. I got to do a little learning, see what's going on. By their seats, he bought a carburetor and then moved the EFI system. All right, so here's some of the upgrade parts to the 1980 Corvette that we're gonna put in it. In fact, the 1980 Corvette sitting on the lift behind me. We haven't started on the upgrades yet, but I thought I'd show some of the pieces that are gonna go into it. Brand new slotted and drilled rotors, I think from Power Stop. Came with a Wildwood disc brake upgrade kit. And along with those, all four calipers will be replaced with these calipers. Have a brand new disc on there. What's nice about these is they're aluminum, much lighter than the stock ones. Probably shaved, I bet you it shaves 100 pounds off. I might find out for sure, but I bet it shaves quite a bit. This is the Borgeson steering gear that we're going to be putting in this 1980 Corvette. We're probably going to need one of these. We'll see how this does and how we like it in the 80 Corvette. If it works as good as I think it should, we're going to put one in the 79 Corvette, the black one also. So the orange Corvette's getting this unit here pretty quick. Came with all the hoses and all the pieces. And depending on how hard it is to put in, we'll see if we want to do it on the 79. So that's what we have in parts. What else? I thought we had another piece we're doing here. Oh. One of the piece de resistance is we've also got, let's put this back in the box here. This is an IK 180 Brodex aluminum. IK, I believe, I'm looking at the thing that stands for Iron Killer, because they're basically saying that you don't need to go with an iron head when you get a really nice flowing Brodex head. The flow numbers on this are pretty good. The engine in the 1980 has all the nice specs. Only thing that was missing really was a pair of nice heads, and so it's got a nice cam, nice pistons, it's got good compression, and all the pieces you're looking for with a nice Street Demon carburetor. This is the piece that should make it. Should be anywhere from 400 to 450 at the crank once we get these on there with the specs that the motor has, which will be a lot of fun. The black 1980 or the 79 Corvette already has aluminum heads on it, so we'll be doing looking for that as an upgrade. And I looked at these over when I first got them. The castings look good. The valves, they've got a good reputation. I believe they're assembled in the U.S. And I think even Brodex actually makes their aluminum housings in the U.S. I'm not positive of that, but there's a lot of Chinese aluminum heads you can get for a lot less money. I also have, I don't see them. Oh, I bet you're in this box here. Got most of this from Summit Racing. Also got all the bolts and ARP bolts and studs and all the gaskets and spark plugs and everything hopefully we need for the build. Wanted to put a little nicer valve cover on it. It's got some chrome pieces, but I thought it'd be fun to have a Brodix aluminum valve cover, give a little more of that industrial aluminum look rather than the shiny chrome. So that's all the parts that are going into the 80. As you can see, the 80's up on the lift. I don't know if I've gone underneath it with the other lift yet, but it's 4-speed, pretty good shape, very little rust. Very nice paint on this car. So what have we learned? We've learned that the 79 looks more like it's more of a deal than a dud. The parts for the 80 are in the shop. The 80's in the shop is gonna get some nice upgrades. We've kind of gone through those. And time will tell if the 79 black Corvette is a deal. It looks like it is. It has a ton of money and parts. It looks like they did most things right. I've got some things to tweak, finish up on it. I have no idea. We kind of babied it home when we got it, so we really haven't tested it out and see how quick it is. Feels nice and strong and stout. It should be strong and stout. It's got some good parts in it. So until next time, we'll talk to you later.